Hi everyone, Cassia614 here, welcoming you to the 5th installment of the Final Life Abridged Countdown. This countdown will be counting down the top 40 series to put out material between June and November of 2009. This episode will include Series 20 through 16. Series number 20. The ThePMAS Princess Mononoke. This is a very strange movie from what I could pick up. Strange in its original and strange in its abridged form. The voice acting was very good, very sturdy. The show, very bizarre, a little hard to follow. But in general, besides some sound issues, it did come together pretty well. The fourth wall jokes were quite good. There were few of them, and they weren't too hard-hitting or too out there, but they did work. Every fourth wall joke that came up, I thought, succeeded. So definitely kudos there. And just the stuff like put on hold, they mentioned the fourth wall a few times, and it all came together to form a very gently weird sense of again, the original is weird and the spoof is weird, and they definitely sort of didn't take the weirdness too seriously, which, considering what I was able to pick up of the original, it seems like the original might be a bit serious in that way, so good job with that. Series 19. This is Adam West Lapdog's Death Note. There's some really good voice acting in there, and Wardle and Sam the Greek as guest stars in there were really quite good. My problem with it was Adam West Lapdog's sense of how to create a character didn't really fit with the character of Light in Death Note. It's a different type of character than his Link and Navi and his characters that he's done in the past, and I feel like it created Link as a pretty weak character to center everything around. But other than that, the characters around Link were pretty fun, but nothing really was able to take off as well as it could have had Light been the better center of the show. It started off a little slow because of that, because it starts off with these expository scenes about Light, so I think that could have been fixed had Light really taken off as a better character. But that said, it starts off slow, it gets better rapidly once you hit the middle of the episode, and and the side characters are all very fun. Series 18. This is Seekerspirit's Justice League. Episodes 7 and 8 came out in this time. The first thing you notice about this show is the titles are very long and silly, and that's very fun. It puts you in the right frame of mind. It's a silly show. With good use of music and sound effects. The villains are very fun, more fun than the heroes, really. There are some plot difficulties. It's often very hard to follow. There's good use of music, but there's extensive use of music, and you're getting the show broken up quite a bit because of that. So sometimes it is very hard to follow what's going on. But the bad guys, Felix Faust, the stone guy who's translated, subtitled rather, in episode 7, very fun. Absolutely just enjoyable to watch. The stinger after episode 8, which admittedly is unrelated to the actual show, was really funny. A take on the over 9,000 theme. So in general, the jokes in this show, the high points, are very good high points, and a lot of the characters are very fun. The music is good, but the plot is often inscrutable. Show 17. CMJSamurai's GBBA. Episodes 5, 6, and 7/8. That's a grouped episode there. Came out over this time. This was a very fun show. Episode 6 was fantastic. Very funny. Tetsuro is consistently hilarious. The Twitter and the letter bit at the beginning of the show, very fun. Show is a solid main character. There was an Enzite bit that was absolutely hilarious. All in all, episode 6 was amazing. 7 and 8, though, that double episode, got really expository. To the point where there wasn't really a lot in the way of comedy in that episode, not that I could really, enjoy. It was much more about just plotting through a lot of exposition without really having a funny take on it. So in general, this show, you know, the characters are good. The characters are funny, and they've been articulated pretty well for an abridged series, especially Tetsuro, who I think is always funny. But episodes 7, 8 did get a little heavy into the exposition. And finally, series 16, the MegamanAbridged Last Exile, abridged. This was a really funny take on a very distinctive style. Last Exile by Unwardle is very, high-minded, lots of big words, overlapping stuff, often very confusing, and that type of humor is sent up really well by Mega Man. It was short and sweet, the editing was great, the voicing varied, there were hits and misses. Mullen and Lavi were fantastic. There were a few other characters that didn't quite come up to that standard, but it didn't really even matter. The way that he sent up the overlap and the text was really fun. The fourth wall jokes, spoofing how Unwardle makes all these fourth wall jokes. So meta, so fantastic. Absolutely loved this little bit here. So with that, we come to the end of video number 5. Stay tuned for the top 15 shows to put out material in June through November of 2009.